Hi, today we're going over section 4.9, which is solving inequalities with algebra. Steps for solving a quadratic inequality are move everything to one side of the equation, solve the quadratic by factoring or using the quadratic formula, mark our points on a number line, and then use a test point to figure out arrows on a number line. So for example, solve 5x squared plus 6x minus 1 is greater than 7, and show our solution on number line, as well as show the solution using inequalities and interval notation. So I would move the 7 to the other side by subtracting it from both sides. So we have 5x squared plus 6x minus 8 is greater than 0. Now right away I can see that this may be a bit hard to use a quadratic formula, but we'll try to product sum factor it anyway. So we have a product of 5 times -8, so -40, with a sum of 6. Okay, so two things that multiply to -40, add to 6 would be +10 and -4. Divide 5 out of one of these. So our two factors are x plus 2 and 5x minus 4. Now our x-intercepts from this would be x equals -2 and 4/5. So showing this on a number line, at -2, we have our open dot. At 4/5, we have an open dot. Now, from what we did in previous lessons, you know that for quadratic, it's either going to be just a center section or it's going to be these outside sections. So we only really technically need to do one test point. I usually use the test point 0 if it's available, because it makes calculations easy. So I'm going to test point 0. So I'm going to put 0 in for all my x's. So I've got 5 times 0 squared plus 6 times 0 minus 8 is greater than 0. So this whole first part is 0. So we've got -8 is greater than 0. That is not true. So we know that's going to be here and here. So this part here, we would have x is less than -2. This part here, we'd have x is greater than 4/5. Now, if we use the notation, this would be written as going from -infinity to -2. And this one would be written as 4/5 to +infinity. Okay, next example, the cost to produce n cups is represented by a function C of n is equal to 4 minus 0.002 n times n, where C is the cost in dollars and n is the number of cups produced, up to 1,000 cups. How much cups must be produced for a cost to be no more than 1,000 to turn 80? So we'll put in the 16,000 or 1,000 to turn 80 is equal or greater than our 4 minus 0.002 n times n. Multiply this out, so we've got 1680 is equal or greater than 4n minus 0.002 n squared I would then put this into our move the 1680 to the other side. Reorder it. So we've got 0 is equal or greater than negative 0.002 n squared plus 4n minus 1680. At this point, I would probably, based off of what I see here, just go straight to a quadratic formula. So I've got negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So that'd be negative 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 squared minus 4 times our a value of negative 0.002 and our c value of negative 1680 divided by 2 times our a value. And doing our quadratic formula, that gives us x is 600 and 1400. Now we know because of the fact that our parabola is opening down, that it's going to look like this, with this being 600 and this being 1400. And it's looking for what's less than that, so that'd be over here. This was over here. However, we said no more than 1,000 cups, so this one will not work. So therefore, we'll have to say x is equal or less than 600. And we should probably also put in that it's greater than 0 because we can't have a negative amount of cups. Now, work for this section can be found on page 372, numbers 3 to 10.